Hey there, folks. It's been a long time since I've been in Train Sim World 5, but I had a very, very good reason to reinstall it and play around with the Cinco here recently, and it's coming right down the track here to the right. We have a free Canadian National SW1500 by creator The Shot, also known as Jan, a talented individual that's been making stuff and black magicking stuff into the game for several years. I mean, since I want to say Train Sim World 2 or 3, some very cool stuff. Anyway, this is available. We'll go over how you can get it, and you may not be able to obtain it much longer, but we'll go over that as well. So I would grab it while you can. So this is, of course, the SW1500 for Canadian National. It layers right into Canadian National's Oakville sub in Train Sim World, which is very nice because you could just get in, select it, and go. So you've still got the GP38, you still got the GP9 as you can see there, and then now you have the SW1500. All three you can select to run a service, do whatever you want, so you don't have to do any kind of weird stuff in free roam, of course, unless you want to. So it just slots right into the game like it was meant to be, like it's vanilla, but it's not. It's a mod, and it's basically a totally new model, new engine, new everything. Now what you'll need is the Cal Train MP15dc, which is no longer available, if I am not mistaken, on the Steam store and probably consoles, which, by the way, this isn't going to work on consoles either. This is PC only, as with a lot of mods. But we'll go over how you can get it. And if you do have it already, reinstall that puppy, install this mod, and you're good to go. Bob's your uncle, you're laughing, all that good stuff. But there are some differences between the engines, of course, which we'll go over. But this is a new engine, and we'll take a look one-to-one, of course, here in just a moment. But pretty cool stuff here. Let's go ahead and get in the game, take a look. Take a look at the differences between the SW1500 and the MP15dc, how you can get it if you don't have it, and then, of course, how to get it in the game. Alright, we're in the game. I have loaded up the CN SW1500 to the left and the Cal Train MP15dc to the right. Now, this thing is largely based on the MP15dc to the right, but don't let that fool you. This is not a reskin. Not by a long shot. Just for the short and skinny of it. So Jan, aka The Shot, has been working on this thing since 2022. I didn't realize that until I did a little digging earlier in the day, and I was like, wow, you know, he's actually been kind of kicking this around for a couple of years. So it's amazing this thing was finally released, and I don't want to say a final state because he may release some more, you know, fixes or whatever, you know, folks may find things, or if he may want to just kind of touch up some things, he may release another instance. But right now it's in a very workable, playable, awesome state, but it slots right into the Oakville sub, which we're on currently. It's a new model, exterior and cab, new animations, textures, and largely, like I said, a totally new unit for the game, although in real life it's based on the MP15dc as it is in the game, so it's kind of, you know, it only makes sense. But it's, you know, I don't want to downplay the severity of what had to go into getting this thing in the game. There haven't been too many people that have been able to get new models that work and have sound and animation and just script into Train Sim World effectively, that, you know, try and put it as nicely as possible, doesn't look like a pile of dog S. Very few of those, and this is one of them, and it looks pretty epic. So there is a number range for these units, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint them down to a degree. I'm no roster nerd, but by and large, a lot, if not all of these for CN came from Wisconsin Central, which is denoted there on the bottom side of the cab. That does not mean water closet for our European friends. That is Wisconsin Central, a railroad, well, obviously based out of Wisconsin, that they acquired a lot of these engines for. But there are a lot of differences here, guys. So the one on the right, the 1500, these were built between 1966 and 1974. The MP15dc on the left, those were later built between 1974 and 1980. 1500s, 808 built. 15dcs, just over 350 built, I think, so not near as much. One of the major differences you'll note between these two models, and yes, I say two models because, like I said, it is largely based on the one in the foreground, but it is largely new. I mean, if I were to take a guess, and this is just a very uneducated guess on the complete newness and organicness of the Candian National unit back there, I'd say it's probably about 90%, maybe 95% completely handmade, brand new, put into the game. But one of the big things that you'll notice is the length, and it's pretty obvious. There's no kind of tomfoolery with the camera work here. It is much longer. By it, I mean the Cal Train version. So the one on the bottom, that's the MP15dc. That one is longer. It's I want to say the 1500 is about 44 feet as built when it was built, and then the MP15, those kind of varied between about 47 feet long and 48 feet long, of course, depending on the date built and the road that used it, etc., etc. They're roughly the same weight, almost 250,000 pounds. They both had the EMD 645 prime movers, pushing 1,500 horsepower, thereabouts. Both of them were roots blown. They did have different trucks, although. So this one here, the SW1500 had some old school AAR trucks, and then you also got some flexi-coil trucks. These, of course, are the flexi-coils, which do look very nice, by the way. They look, it's one of the things I noticed right away about this model. I was like, okay, this thing is new. Those are new trucks. Epic. On the right, the MP15dc, these are the old school Bloomberg Bs, I guess, or Blomberg, however people like to pronounce it, whatever the hell. The 1500 had a little bit less tractive effort, and by a little bit, I mean like 10,000 pounds. I may be totally wrong on that. It is different, though. This one had a little bit more, but there's a lot of differences going on exterior-wise as well. Of course, you've got the number boards on the front on the 1500. Do not have them here. A lot of other things. Of course, the roof has got the number boards on the Cal Train unit. That one does not, obviously. And now, before a lot of you, start thinking, hey, CN had a lot of different looking SW1500s. Well, you're right. They did. They had a lot of variations, a lot of what you'd call upgrades or kind of EPA standards, like, smog and spark arresters on the stacks, and just a bunch of little things. Of course, roof equipment and things like that. I guess looking at this one, this would be like early on when they acquired them. I'd say, when did they acquire Wisconsin? Well, Wisconsin Central's a subsidiary, but was it late 60s? I don't even really know, to be honest. But I get the vibe that it's like early on. But anyway, moving right along, the fuel tank. Fuel tank on this unit is a lot bigger than this fuel tank here, which you can see, which is much shorter. You've still got all the animations like the fuel cap. I can click it, click the cap, click the cap. Okay, it's not clicking the cap. I just clicked it like a minute ago. Yeah, anyway, that still comes off. You can still do all that good stuff. The brake cylinder pins still move, all that good stuff, so it's fully animated. But moving back to differences, of course, you've got the kind of box on the MP15, the new unit there. This one does not. It's just got the notch for, I guess you could say, better visibility. What was housed in here anyway? Maybe some electronic equipment, like the engine intake system, things like that. It does have different paneling on the sides, as you can see. This one's got less paneling. Still complete with your danger, don't touch, zappy. You're gonna get tickled by a lot of lightning, I mean, the CN looks really good on there. You've got the website. You've got all kinds of denotations talking about water fill, water drain, fire extinguisher, F for front. So nothing was really missed as far as I can tell. This thing is really, really nice. I mean, it looks like something you'd see on the Steam store for sale for full price, which, by the way, DLC full prices now for Train Sim World are insane. They're almost $50. That's a lot of damn money. So for this thing to be free, of course, yes, you need a requirement of the MP15dc. It's pretty badass. Moving right along to more differences. The roof. So you'll notice the roof on the cab, this is more of a rectangular square, whereas this one's kind of like ovaled out. That one is not. It's more flat across. Of course, it does have the equipment here, the kind of eyebrow thing going on. This one being newer as well, it's got PTC equipment up there and all kinds of good stuff. This one does not. It's just got an old school, you know, antenna, radio antenna, aerial, whatnot. Back, same deal. You've got your number boards back here. They are not back there. Even little tiny things such as like the step lights down here. You've got those kind of newer ones there. And these are some of the old school ones up there. So lots and lots of differences. That's just a few things that I personally noticed, which I'm sure if you know, a lot of you guys have probably already played with this thing, or that may play with it in the future here, you'll probably notice some differences that I, of course, did not find out. But the inside as well, green, or I don't know what this is called. It's like a blue-green. Canadian Nationalisms, you know, they had it like that. So the whole thing is completely redone in that green, retextured. The original is just this gray or kind of unpainted that you got in the Cal Train one here. You can see JPBX up there with the number. This one here has got its number scrolled up there with safety first. All kinds of other stuff on the inside, like you've got your PTC display missing there, obviously, because this wouldn't have PTC. It's got the handwritten independent brake, 55 psi pressure on there. Everything in here works, from the service selector, you know, all your switches. I mean, you obviously probably saw the beginning of the video with this thing in motion. Your gauges are white in this, whereas in the other locomotive they are black. You know, brakes all still work. It still couples up to other locomotives. I had it coupled up to that GP9 back there. I mean, it's a one-of-one thing. It is very badass to see this in the game. And like I said, it makes the Oakville sub just a little less boring, because it was kind of just a big kick in the nuts, you know, if you want to put it like that, when it came out, because it had a lot of opportunity to be good, you know, for Canada, Canadian National, and Oakville sub. But SW1500 in the game now for Canadian National, which is pretty badass. Let's go ahead and talk about how you can get this thing if you don't have the prerequisite, which is this, and then how to get it in the game. Okay, guys, so I feel like I don't have to scream now over roaring engines within Train Sim World, but this is the item, the animal, the mod, the freebie right here. It says it was created 8 days ago, but like I said, he's been working on it since I think 2022 or late 2021. It just got released in just a much better playable state that he was comfortable with, which is what you have here, and it's got just everything. It's all in one. It's one file. It's right here. You download it and slap it into your game, and you're set. Now, it does say the requirements are as follows: the Cal Train MP15dc diesel switcher, of course, and the Peninsula Corridor San Francisco San Jose, aka the Cal Train route, which was, I think that was like the Herald route for Train Sim World 2, right? God, that feels like so long ago. I can't believe we're about to be on 6, guys. What is it, September? We're getting Train Sim World 6? Jesus H. Anyway, I gotta stop before my DTG rage creeps out, rears its ugly head. But like it notes here, the SW1500 is a seamless addition to the Oakville Subdivision, which of course I don't think you need to play this, but it would certainly be helpful and slot right in. But it says it substitutes on all timetable services, so you just hop in and go. You don't have to do any kind of weird stuff. Also says there's a 33% chance of spawning on AI services, so it can spawn with like a GP9, etc. So it makes, I've been messing around with Oakville and this for the better part of the morning, and it just makes it a little bit more interesting again because it kind of did suck, sadly. Something else to go along with that, if you don't have Oakville and you do get it, and you're like, man, this looks like ass compared to the newer Train Sim World stuff, lighting, skybox, all that good stuff. There is a mod by Spacey Cat here that you can just type that name in here on the Train Sim community website and find a mod that fixes the skybox for the older North American routes, making the sky look as follows in these photos here by Jan, which of course look very nice compared to the old skybox. So what's going on with this thing and why can't you get it anymore? Well, the original locomotive, the MP15dc, I looked it up on Steam and you can't find it. I have it. I can install it because I bought it a long ass time ago, but you can't now. So over here, I found this remark about this being removed on the 27th of February. And that came and went. So they removed everything. The MP15dc, the MP36PH3C Baby Bullet, etc., etc. And I guess you just can no longer get it anymore. But a lot of you guys know, as a lot of us do, I don't always get stuff direct from the horse's mouth or Steam per se, and I'll buy keys, resell keys online. Now, of course, be careful, do your research. I'm not advocating to do any nefarious activities to get this thing if you don't have it, but there are resellers like Green Man Gaming, Humble Bundle, places like that where you can get keys and they're totally legit, generally have a bit of a discount, and you get a key number and you put it into Steam and it installs. So if you don't have the MP15dc, you can get it via that way. Okay, so wrapping up, back to the creator page, how to install. Well, you simply click this here. The file, it will download. It is a zip. You unpack the stuff within the zip file, and up here he has got direction as to where to put the file, which is a bit different than where you normally put mods. If you've kind of dabbled around with mods for Train Sim World, it didn't appear for me, as a lot of people have said down in the comments here. So luckily I tried what some of these people did as well, where I just put them in the DLC folder instead of the user content folder. And it's pretty simple. I'll try and go over that real quick here. I'll open up my files. Hopefully I don't have anything too funky that may pop up here, but let's see. Let's go to so it's in my E drive. I'm in my E drive here. I'm going to go to my Steam library, Steam apps, common. Going to go down to Train Sim World 5, Windows No Editor, TS2 prototype, content, and alas, DLC. And that is where you would take Control-C, Control-V, or copy-paste that pack file into here, and then it pops right up, and we'll go up in the game right now and show you how that all works and get that figured out. Okay, gang, main menu, going to click that, open up to the trains, going to click that there, going to click choose a route, of course, Oakville Subdivision. We're going to click on that, click timetable, whammers, bammers. Look at there, you've got the SW1500 in there. Of course, when I installed it the other way, it did not pop up in the timetable as shown here, but you simply click on it like you would the GP38 or the GP9. Click on it. You've got two options, flipped and unflipped. So I think that refers to like glass out or the cab or glass in. And it slots into every freaking timetable that you've got. So I'll just simply click one here. We'll do let's see, Hobson Street loading. Yeah, what the hell, we'll just click on that one. I think it's a tank loading. We'll mess with the weather. We'll do you know what, let's make it winter. It is hot as hell here in Florida. It's been well over 100 for well over a week now, and it sucks. So we'll pretend it's winter time. And we'll do snow level like that, a little bit of clouds, a little bit of wind. Let's fire it up because I think snow, fresh powder, now appears on the locomotive. I believe with the CSX switcher that him and another person, Yuri, did for the Sand Patch Grade add-on. I don't know if snow appeared on that. I don't remember, but he was able to figure out a way to get snow on it. So here it is. Of course, it looks kind of weird right now because you can't really see, and it's got the bright, shiny, snowy snow. Let's make it like midday. There we go. Of course, we've got some odd snow on the ties, the sleepers, whatever you call them, which looks odd. But there is snow on the unit, which is cool. So it matches up, you know, just with the other unit as well, which looks pretty cool. But I think it looks better as well. It's got more of like a normal look to it, rather than this, which is kind of like this weird Microsoft spray paint tool look. So this is just a lot more. It looks like it's kind of slightly melted snow and frozen on. But thing looks good, man. I love the trucks. That was like the big thing that I saw right away. I was like, all right, this sucker is new. But yeah, anyway, so the whole point, I know I just kind of went off on a rant there. It loads in. So we've got a GP9 right behind us. We got a cut of tankers right behind us. And you do work. It's that simple. It's like a friggin', a paid DLC from Steam or wherever. But it's not. It's free. And it's awesome. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier is it's got a new horn as well. A Leslie S25, which I didn't even know existed, if I'm honest. And so I was like, what the hell is that? So I started doing some Googling on the interwebs, and it is a Leslie S25. It's got that dying cow sound. It is a single chime, which, it's single chime's gonna single chime. But it's neat. We got a new horn. Of course, it does have a 3 chime up here. I don't know if he was not able to change the actual mesh or the model of the horn on the roof. But I could honestly look past that and not give a flip. It'd be cool if there was a single chime up on the cab there. But free SW1500, guys. Go get this thing installed if you've got the MP15dc. And of course Oakville. It's a good reason to get Oakville. You can probably get it on a deep discount sale at some point. And if you don't, start looking at some key resellers to see if you can find the Cal Train MP15dc. But that's it, guys. We'll go in here in the peace and quiet where it's nice and warm now. But this is pretty damn cool, and it certainly gave me some life and interest in Train Sim World again to just start messing around. Plus, I like switchers. They're cool. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll post everything down below in the information area. Links where you can go and find all this stuff. Take care.